بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد ولله الأسماء الحسنى فادعوه بها وقال تعالى ولله المثل الأعلى وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لله تعالى تسعة وتسعون اسما من حفظها دخل الجنة. We move on to Ya Kareem. Number 42 is Kareem. Kareem comes from Karam, which means benevolence, it means honor, so it actually means multiple things. Number one, it means honor. So honor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all the honor, so He is the Kareem in that regard. And it also means the one who's benevolent and generous and giving. So Ya Kareem can be used in tandem with Ya Wahhab and Ya Razzaq and Ya Muqit, as we've discussed before. So the most generous, Kareem, is like Jawad. Jawadun Kareem. Jawad also means generous. So you can use this in its different meanings. The most esteemed and the most generous. Number one, if somebody wants spiritual elevation, when praying for increased nobility in character, we want better character, a noble character, to be adorned with virtuous qualities, generosity, etc. Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem, to bring us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that regard. All of these good characteristics, they're Allah's characteristics. He gives His servant a proportion. If there's a generous person, it's because Allah gave him part of that generosity. Number two, seeking knowledge before starting a study session or attending a class, asking Ya Kareem for the generous bestowal of beneficial knowledge. So we sit here today, Ya Kareem, grant us your blessings today. Number three, something completely different, job interview. What's Kareem got to do with a job interview? Prior to attending a job interview, seeking the favor and esteem in the eyes of the interviewer. Because it's all about generosity and benevolence. And there's a level of honor in there as well. So you're asking Allah for honor, that they consider me honorable enough to take me on for this job. Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem. Number four, if you want a promotion, when aiming for a promotion or raise at work, asking Allah to generously grant you esteem and honor in the eyes of superiors. So that could work with Ya Kabir and Ya Jalil and Ya Kareem to get height. Ya Muta'ali is another one. Charity. When donating to charity or helping someone in need, praying Ya Kareem that Allah grants a generous rewards for the charitable act and allows our generosity to go far. Have far-reaching benefits. Because the more far-reaching benefits our charity can attain, the more reward we get and the more useful that charity is. So Ya Kareem. Dealing with debt. When facing financial difficulties and debts, asking Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem in His generosity to provide means to settle them. So Ya Kareem would be a good one for settling of debts. Ya Ghani, Ya Mughni, Ya Kareem. Family respect. In situations where there may be disputes or misunderstandings in a family. Sometimes the family is the most difficult people to please, because we're so close to one another, to each other. And if we mess up, it takes a while to gain that honor again. So if you want to genuinely, we want to build that respect up again, then we have to prove it. You can't demand respect. You have to earn it. That's why we tell the children. Children make a pattern of mistakes. And then you start telling them that this is what you do. And then they say, no, but I didn't do that the last time. Yeah, but you did it 10 times before that. One time is not going to change people's attitude towards you. You can't demand respect. Oh no, you never praised me. I did it last time. I said, that's only once. 10 times you did it wrong. You're going to have to do it multiple times to change the impression. And that's with everybody else as well. We have to change our impression. We can't keep crying because people don't treat us the way we want ourselves to be treated, if we don't make ourselves worthy of that kind of treatment. So Ya Kareem, family respect. In situations where there may be a dispute or misunderstanding in a family, praying to Allah to grant mutual respect and esteem among family members. Not just for ourselves, but for one another. Because any family, any community, any group, if there's harmony between them, they'll be more successful. Otherwise, there's just going to be too much stress in between, and that just takes away all the energy that could be spent in progress. It takes it away. What's the point of that? Artistic endeavors, Ya Allah. Ya Kareem, for artistic endeavors. For writers, painters. Before starting a new piece or project, asking Allah for generous inspiration and to be esteemed in their craft. This could be for any design. Even if you're a tailor, and all of those cake bakers out there, all of those guys who are making these Dubai chocolates, just came out a few months ago and it took the world by craze. Ya Allah. It's the color of Jannah, the green, I think. Yeah. Something just attracts everybody. Business ventures. Definitely, because you need karam, you need generosity there from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before starting a new business or entering a new market, asking Allah's generosity in profits and for the business to be held in high regard and for it to be halal. Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem. Should be a wird all day long. You start the business with this and you end the day with this. Public speaking. You're giving a bayan, you're giving a lecture, a speech, presentation, praying to be esteemed. Because you know what I've seen is that it does matter what you say, but the other half of it is what people think about the speaker. And if the speaker is somebody has an honor in the sight of people, they're just willing to listen more carefully. If the same thing was said by somebody who is not so well known, then it has half that effect. So yes, definitely what you say has an effect for anybody who says it. But then for some reason, if you have some kind of reputation, or somebody's praised you in front of them, or they hold you in some kind of veneration, Ya Allah. So Ya Kareem, not for ourselves, but just so that it's more effective. So it's not say, I'm going to become so in, I'm going to get more likes for the purpose of likes, or whatever the case is. Or I'm going to get a standing ovation, or whatever it is. It's for the purpose that if you're going to give a speech, you want something to do with it. Some people give a speech, they don't care whether somebody listens or not. It's just, I have to say my bit. I don't care whether anybody understands or not. They could all be sleeping. I just need to go and say my bit. What's the point of that? I mean, I can't even speak if people are sleeping. Like if somebody does fall asleep, I was like, I'm doing something. What's the point of speaking? It's a communication. Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem, Ya Kareem. Okay, let's move on to Ya Raqeeb, which is number 43 is Ya Raqeeb. Raqeeb is an interesting one because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls himself Raqeeb in the Qur'an as well. Raqeeb means the ever watchful one. The one is constantly in watch. Somebody who's constantly fixated, checking something out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't miss a thing, so He is the Raqeeb. Both in terms of being able to see everything, hear everything, and know everything. There's nothing that can escape Him. So why would somebody call on Ya Raqeeb? Exams or evaluation. Before taking an exam or undergoing any evaluation, a student or professional can invoke Ya Raqeeb, seeking Allah's watchfulness to guide them in providing the right answers, making the correct decisions. So Ya Allah, you assist me in this regard. I need to be very careful. I can't miss, there's some very delicate jobs where you can't miss something and everything has to be right. So Ya Raqeeb you got a big project and everything needs to be right. Whether you're an electrician, whether you're a plumber, whether you're some kind of designer, whatever, it could be in anything, not just in exams and so on. In ensuring honesty. Number 2 is ensuring honesty. Ya Allah. In business dealings, a trader may invoke Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb to seek Allah's watchfulness and ensure that both parties remain honest and fair. I mean, if the deal just seems too good to be true, lots of promises and so on, then you need to run a mile. Okay. There's just some common sense stuff. You live and learn. Allah help us and protect us from dishonesty and from all of these scams and so on that go on. Right? And the reason why Muslims have to be extra careful is because they meet 5 times a day. So it's a ripe ground for people to meet multiple people at the same time and get them into all of these pyramid schemes and so on. So Ya Raqeeb. They'll say, I'm going to sign you up. You have to pay £200. You have to buy the package first. Then you just have to go to a website and click, 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 and it'll make you money like a bewakoof. You just have to go online. You just have to click like an idiot. You're just clicking and you'll make money. And then in the beginning you make a bit of money, and then after that it's all gone. And you're clicking away. You're clicking away. That's my exercise. You know. Allah protect us, Ya Allah. So ensuring honesty, call on to Ya Raqeeb to be ever watchful so that we remain honest and fair. Number 3, protecting one's family. We definitely need the Ya Raqeeb for that, to protect our family, our assets. Parents leaving their children under someone else's care especially can invoke this name, seeking Allah's watchful eye over their children, dropping them off to school, to nursery, seeing them off to college, university, letting them go abroad or whatever it is, out with their friends. Ya Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb. Safety during travels. For ourselves or anybody else, before embarking on a journey, travelers can call upon ar-Raqeeb to ask Allah to watch over them and keep them safe during their travels. Because travels, things just come at you and you need to be prepared for everything. We can't be. We're human beings. There's just so many things that can happen. So Ya Raqeeb. In times of solitude, when someone feels alone or isolated, perfect. You need somebody with us, and He is there anyway. Ya Raqeeb, O watchful one, O ever watchful one. And then you just feel comfortable. The unsiyah, which means the congeniality, the familiarity, the comfort. Knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Raqeeb, is there to remind themselves that Allah is always watching over them. And number 6 is maintaining good behavior. An individual trying to better themselves and avoid sinful behavior can invoke the Raqeeb, seeking Allah's constant surveillance to help them stay on the right path. Ya Raqeeb, assist me. Ya Raqeeb, assist me. This was difficult. I messed up. I got angry. I acted badly. I insulted somebody. Ya Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb, no, keep me better today. Call on to Him when we start the day, when we go outside the house, when we take a phone call where we think we might just say something bad to someone. Usually whenever I speak to this guy, it's an issue. So, Ya Raqeeb. At work, an employee working on an important project can invoke this name, Ya Raqeeb, to ask Allah's watchfulness, ensuring that they do not overlook any important details and their work is successful. And then guarding against oppression. In situations where someone feels oppressed or wronged, invoking ar-Raqeeb can be a means to seek Allah's justice, knowing He is watching over everything. Just at least makes us feel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching. Ensuring privacy. Number 9 is ensuring privacy. When you're worried about the privacy of something, confidentiality. When somebody's privacy feels compromised, Ya Raqeeb, asking Allah to watch over their affairs and keep them hidden from prying eyes. And number 10, we can use this during meditation or dhikr, while in deep contemplation or remembrance of Allah, calling onto the Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb, to reinforce the idea that Allah is always watchful, recognizing every thought and action of ours. So Ya Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb, Ya Raqeeb. So that was Ya Raqeeb, which means the ever watchful one. And alhamdulillah, we are on the 44th, we've just done the 43rd one. Alhamdulillah, we've had quite a bit of feedback over the last few weeks of people who've, mashallah, found particular names for their particular purpose. Because I may explain 10 of these purposes for each of them, and not all of them are relevant to me in that particular time, but some of them are relevant to someone, another to someone else. That's why the best idea while going through these is to write them down, otherwise you forget, hey, that's a really good one, I need that one, and then you forget which one it was. So it's very good, alhamdulillah, people have used it. There's one sister, she said she was trying to get her child into a better school, and it was twice or thrice that she tried, and it just didn't work out. And she gave it a try this third time again, because the other school was not a very good school. She's worried about bad behavior and so on. So finally she tries again, and then usually what happens is try, and then after that they go into an appeal, and then they go into a meeting and so on. And she was just calling out with these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mashallah. She got it without having to go through the appeal, so she was really excited, and she told us about it. And there's others who've mashallah mentioned other stories. So these definitely work. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Just try it and you'll see, inshaAllah. So Ya Allah, we ask you to allow us to use you as you want us to use you for everything, because we can't do anything in this world without you anyway. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
With the Rayyan Courses subscription, you'll gain immediate access to over 250 hours of exclusive video lessons taught by experienced scholars. Sign up now at rayyancourses.com to continue your journey. Your next lesson is waiting.